All right, guys, 2 videos, 1 day. We just finished up that trade recap video. Again, explaining why I took a loss on this. Now let's get into a trade and transformation video where we can talk about, everybody's been wondering, we've been talking about this on the kick streams, we've been talking about this in the Discord, within the mastermind, and people saying, oh, you're taking trades on lower time frames. What happened to this? Well, you're taking trades on higher time frames. What happened to this? Listen the fuck up and listen real fucking close. My strategy is universal. The confluences that I teach, you can apply it to any time frame. The strategy that I teach, you can scale it down and you can scale it up and still make money, baby. That's what we're all about. Okay, so that's what I'm going to teach you in this video before I pop a fucking blood vessel and kill you. Okay, just kidding. Let's lock in. Man. Get me? All right, so everybody that's fucking screaming, shut up. All right, we're solving your fucking baby shit today. Man. Anyways, most people know the strategy. As we look at the 4 hour for overall daily bias, then we look at the 1 hour, see how that trend correlates, and then we scale down to the 15 and the 5 minute and find executions on there. But hold on, if there's liquidity sweeps on the 4 hour and also liquidity sweeps on the 1 hour, and there's liquidity sweeps on the 15 minute, the 5 minute, and even the 1 minute. And there's also fair value gaps on the 1 minute. There's also fair value gaps on the 5 minute. There's also fair value gaps on the 15 minute. There's fair value gaps on every single fucking time frame. And all of these confluences hold true on literally every single time frame. Don't you think that our strategy can be applied amongst any time frames? Okay, lock in. We'll start off on the bigger time frame. Let's say I want to be a swing trader. It's as simple as just scaling up the time frame. Got that? Okay? So this is a perfect example. The weekly time frame. We get a sweepy poo. And then a breaky shit to the downside. Oh, scale down, lower time frame. Okay, and we see, oh, the daily broke structure right here. Okay, all of these confluences, we see a sweep, we see a break of structure. Oh, on the daily, we also see sweeps and breaks of structure. Crazy how it works, isn't it, kiddos? Okay, so let's say I just want to be a fucking swing trader. All that you do is scale up the time frames. Look at the overall trend on the weekly. Right now, we're still within this like bearish trend, but I honestly think that we break right back up to the upside because this just wanted to draw down, so we've got liquidity and rally. Cool. Just apply the same concepts that we do on the 4 hour and on the hourly, rotate it over on the weekly and the daily. We find our executions and our confluences on the 4 hour and the hourly. Okay, it's the same type of thing. So let's say on the daily, we're looking for draws on liquidity, and we know that we're bearish, for example. Let's say we see a sweep of this liquidity. Cool. We can scale down into the 4 hour. Okay, when do we get a break of structure? Boom. Right here, okay? We have this big ass fair value gap. We see the fair value gap get filled. We see rejections out of it. Potential to take a short position off of this stops above that fair value gap. And we can target draws of liquidity. What? But TJR, that doesn't follow the trade transformation strategy. It's universal. There's a reason why we give you guys these concepts that work on every single time frame, because you can apply them to every single time frame. So from today, when you guys saw me take a low time frame trade, don't be like, y'all, I swear you guys be taking shit like super literally, and that's okay sometimes, right? But for example, also like the high time frame shit, I'm not that big of a fan. I would rather scale down because I'm trying to move from session to session. I'm not trying to deal with no freaking weekly and daily liquidity sweeps, right? Like we'll literally die by the time we find an entry. Okay, but for example, what happens if we're going to do something like this where we use the hourly? As our overall bias setter. Oh, we get a beanie bopper break of structure? Beanie bopper, thoughter bopper, break of structure. Okay, we get that break. Along with that, we sweep liquidity on the 15-minute. Okay, we could have looked for like an hourly sweep too, because now we're using the hourly in the 15-minute as our draws on liquidity and our overall trend setters. Scale down to the 5-minute, maybe try and find some confluences within there. Oh, damn. A 5-minute break of structure, and then there's a 5-minute fair value gap. And then if we want to scale down even further, there's a skidrinky-dinky-dink break of structure, and then, oh my goodness, look at that. The break of structure also coincides with an order block right here, and it's crazy. It's almost like these confluences are in every single fucking time frame. So as long as you guys have the big picture, and this is really all the video is going to be, is me just yelling at you guys, saying that you guys can apply this strategy to any time frame, just have that overall fundamentals of looking at a higher time frame, figure out the overall trend. And again, just because if I'm executing on a smaller time frame, let's say I execute on this break of structure right here, Long John Silver, okay, and we put the stop loss. Fuck it, let's just put it at the bottom of this 5-minute fair value gap, because that's what we're taking the trade off of. Okay, am I going to set my take profit to a fucking daily high? Yeah. No. Okay, we're not going to do that. We can set our take profit to a 15-minute high. One to 1.94 risk to reward ratio, I'll take that. We can do like a 15-minute high, previous highs, like let's say this chart got a little bit higher to give us a good risk to reward, boom, set that as it. But we're, again, it's the same, like, do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, just scale down the time frames. Or if you guys want to be a swing trader, scale up the time frames. It's the same strategy, because these concepts happen on every single time frame. There's liquidity sweeps on every single time frame. There's break of structures on every single time frame. There's order blocks on every single time frame. There's fair value gaps on every single time frame. There's breaker blocks on every single time frame, and I'm gonna go fucking crazy. I was just showing a strategy that worked, and I guess I assumed wrong. But I was assuming that you guys would understand that, and that you guys would be able to like figure it out that, hey, it doesn't just, the strategy that I gave you isn't just a 4-hour, 1-hour, 15-minute, 5-minute only strategy where you guys can apply these concepts to multiple time frames. Okay, because sometimes, there was a day, I think it was yesterday. Let's put like replay to, where is it? Like here. This is what price looked like, right? And if we go to the 4-hour, this is what price looked like. do I really think I'm going to sit on my butt cheeks and wait for either a 4-hour liquidity sweep? Do you really think price is going to be like, yeah, bet, we need to sweep liquidity? It's not going to do that. Okay, do you really think that price is going to... Also, this was deep in the market open anyways, after it had broken structure. Sometimes we can't find trade setups because it's obvious on the chart that there's no draws on liquidity on the super high time frame. So then what can we do in turn? We can scale down to lower time frames, and this was the trade that I took yesterday on the 16th, where we see sweep. Wait, it was on NQ, but whatever. We see sweep, and we see confluences on lower time frames, and we see the sweep on the 15-minute time frame. So because we see the sweep on the 15-minute time frame, we know that the move is going to be smaller than if it was a 4-hour sweep or an hourly sweep. So in turn, we use lower time frames. Okay, let's say that. Here, I'll show the one on NQ. ES, we had the sweep. NQ, we had SMT divergence right here. Scale into the 1 minute. I need to make a video on SMT divergence. It just reminded me. Looking for confluences. Okay, so 15-minute sweep on ES. SMT divergence, which essentially like kind of signifies a like valid sweep and that NQ is going to continue higher, but I'll make a whole other video on that later. Okay, I know a lot of people in the kick streams ask me for that. Okay, but we see a 15-minute sweep on ES, so we know that the move, it's going to be a sweep, right? We saw that the sweep happened. We see SMT divergence, okay, and then we're starting to see confluences to the upside. We invalidate this bearish fair value gap. We break structure to the upside on NQ. I could have entered purely off of that. I waited for fair value gap gripper, entry, stops, underneath the invalidation of the fair value gap. One and only take profit was right here. Okay. Yes, I could have said higher take profits, but because I entered on such a low time frame, I had low time frame take profits as well. These concepts are applicable on every single time frame, and it's the same thing if you want to scale up and wait years to enter on the daily fair value gap and breakup structure and all of that. Okay, and you want to swing trade. But I needed to make this video on how you guys can, and again, like, stop looking for a copy and paste 1 hut, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm gonna eat your ass right when you open the door ass strategy, because sometimes that strategy won't play out for a fucking month. And then what are you going to do? If we don't see a 4-hour liquidity sweep, you know, it's going to be pretty rare, but let's say we don't see a 4-hour or a 1-hour liquidity sweep for an entire month. Are we just going to sit there and never take a freaking trade ever again? Like, are we going to go broke that month? No. We need to be able to find and be able to analyze charts on different time frames as well. And all of our concepts, the strategy included, can be used on other time frames. So hopefully this video kind of clarifies that so you guys aren't tweaking and geeking in the trade recap videos. And again, if you guys think about that, guys, this special strategy that I just showed you, it's the exact same way that I traded PM session all last week. And I'm just doing it on AM session because price wasn't giving me good setups for the original strategy that I showed you. Okay, cool, we cool, lock in. We're going crazy this summer. Peace out.